Republic of Indonesia and the ambassadors of all friendly countries. Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, Indonesia is going to perform a social drama about Soekarno, presented by KSBN, Comedy on Nusantara Culture and Arts. The social drama depicts the struggle of Soekarno as a national and world leader, starting from adolescence to the proclamation of the Republic of Indonesia on August 17, 1945, and his support for the independence of Aljazair, Tunisia, and Morocco in the Conference of Asia-Africa, April 1955. Soekarno, whose birth name was Sosio, was born on June 6, 1901 in Surabaya. His father, Raden Sukemi Sosio, was a teacher. Because Soekarno was often sick, his father changed his name with Karna. He was named after a puppet character. Since then, he was called Soekarno. In his childhood years, Soekarno was considered fortunate because he was a noble descendant and he could be a student of a Dutch school. While studying at Burger School in Surabaya, Soekarno lived with his father's best friend, Cokro Aminoto. He continued his studies at Technische Hogeschool in Bandung. After graduating from Technische Hogeschool, he decided to become an independent professional engineer. He opposed to the idea of working with the government and having connection with the Dutch, even though the salary was much higher. At the same time, he was politically active in Indonesian National Party, PNI. Eventually, Soekarno was arrested, and in the trial, he read a defense plea titled Indonesian Gugat, Indonesia Sued. He had been jailed in Sukamiskin prison for a year. Once free, he was arrested again and lived in exile on Flores Island, East Indonesia for 5 years. On January 14, 1934, Soekarno, along with his family members, went into exile in Ende City, Flores Island, East Nusa Tenggara. Since he was in exile, Soekarno did not have much access to communicate with others. Facing this fact, at times he felt hopeless, lonely, and defeated by the Dutch. Soekarno felt completely lost. He was on the verge of giving up hopes. Although he was a leader, he surely had weakness that he kept deep inside his heart. Without any friends in Ende, Flores was a similar place to a place of torment. Every day, Soekarno spent his time meditating. He wanted to calm his mind and to spend much of his time getting closer to the Almighty, who is able to change everything.
Kusno, anakku, bangkitlah nak. Ingatlah anakku, saat engkau kecil di pangkuanku, dengan memandangi fajar, ibu katakan kepadamu, kelak engkau akan menjadi orang yang sangat mulia. Engkau akan menjadi pemimpin dari rakyat kita. Karena ibu melahirkanmu jam 5:30 pagi di saat fajar mulai menyingsing. Kita orang Jawa mempunyai suatu kepercayaan bahwa orang yang dilahirkan di saat matahari terbit, nasibnya telah ditakdirkan terlebih dahulu. Engkaulah nak, putra sang fajar.
Slowly but surely, Soekarno started to revive and to give a serious thought about the fate of his nation, although it might look difficult. Having regained his confidence spiritually, Soekarno was able to find himself back. Under the sukun tree that had 5 branches, the visionary Soekarno thought about his vision, the underlying concept or principle of the philosophy of a nation. Soekarno had put thoughts in his mind and in his heart about 5 principles of nations for a country. As a nation, Indonesian people should have the principle of nation, the principle of internationalism and humanity, the principle of mutual consensus or democracy, the principle of social welfare, the principle of the only one God. Because of the condition of the isolated Kota Ende, Soekarno had dengue fever. His friend in Java proposed to the Dutch colonial state to bring Soekarno out of Ende, Flores. Eventually, the proposal was agreed, and Soekarno, along with the entire members of the family, were transferred to Bengkulu, Sumatra. Bengkulu was still an isolated city with very little political activities. Traveling by a Dutch ship called Slot van de Bijl, Soekarno arrived in this middle area of Sumatra Island on February 1938. the only child of Hasan Din, who was the chairman of Muhammadiyah Bengkulu in August 1938. Back then, Fatmawati was only 15 years old. Soekarno fell in love with Fatmawati at first sight. Soekarno often expressed his love by sending Fatmawati letters and postcards illustrated with flowers. Until one day, Soekarno confessed his love directly to Fatmawati.
Pak, sekarang terpaksa aku mengeluarkan perasaan hatiku padamu. Dengarkanlah baik-baik. Begini Pak, sebenarnya aku sudah jatuh cinta padamu. Pertama kali aku bertemu denganmu waktu kau ke rumahku dahulu pertama kali. Aku seorang pemimpin rakyat yang ingin memerdekakan bangsanya dari Belanda. Tapi rasanya aku tak sanggup meneruskan jika kau tak menunggu dan mendampingi aku. Kamu cahaya hidupku untuk meneruskan perjuangan yang maha hebat dan dahsyat.
Bapak, saya tidak dapat memutuskan sendiri. Berilah waktu saya untuk bicara dengan orang tua saya.
As a teenager, it was not easy for Fatmawati to come up with a firm decision. But gradually, the feeling towards Soekarno had changed. Eventually, Fatmawati fell in love with Soekarno. When the Dutch was defeated by the Japanese, it was predicted that Soekarno would be released in no time. Soon enough, the national fighters were released, and it was hoped that they came back home to Java Island, Jakarta. On July 9, 1942, Soekarno arrived at Pasar Airport, Tanjung Priok. After spending years in exile, Soekarno returned to Jakarta, and his coming back home had boosted the spirit of the freedom fighters. To get sympathy from Indonesian people by offering Indonesia's independence, the Japanese established Dokuritsu Junbi Chosakai, or the Investigating Committee for Preparatory Work for Independence, BPUPKI, that should investigate and study important matters concerning governmental issues for the establishment of independent Indonesian state. The first meeting of BPUPKI was held from May 29, 1945 to June 1, 1945, discussing the form of Indonesian state, the philosophy of the state, the independence of Indonesia, and the formulation of Indonesian state philosophy, which were delivered by Dr. Rajiman Pudyodiningrat, the chairman of BPUPKI.
Saudara-saudara sekalian, dengan ini sidang BPUPKI saya nyatakan dibuka.
Paduka yang mulia, sebagai sebuah negara harus mempunyai falsafah negara, dan dengan ini saya mengusulkan bahwa Negara Kesatuan Republik Indonesia yang akan kita bentuk berlandaskan 1. Peri kebangsaan, 2. Peri kemanusiaan, 3. Peri ketuhanan, 4. Peri kerakyatan, dan 5. Kesejahteraan rakyat.
Tuan-tuan dan sidang yang terhormat, dalam negara kita, niscaya tuan-tuan menginginkan berdirinya satu pemerintahan yang adil dan bijaksana, berdasarkan budi pekerti yang luhur, bersendi permusyawaratan dan putusan rapat, serta luas berlebar dada tidak memaksa tentang agama. Kalau benar demikian, dirikanlah pemerintah itu atas nama agama Islam, karena ajaran agama Islam itu mengandung sifat-sifat itu. Tidak bisa urusan negara itu harus dipisahkan dengan urusan agama.
Betul, Bung Hatta, bahwa teori tentang negara terdiri dari 3, yaitu 1. Negara individualistik, yaitu negara yang disusun dengan mengutamakan kepentingan individu. Kemudian kedua, negara kolonial atau kelas teori, yaitu negara yang terdiri atas golongan. Serta yang ketiga, negara integralistik, yaitu negara yang tidak memihak pada golongan-golongan tertentu, tetapi berdiri di atas kepentingan bersama. Negara integralistik atau negara persatuan dapat kita terapkan pada negara Indonesia kita, yaitu negara satu untuk semua orang. Dan saya merumuskan bahwa dasar negara adalah 1. Paham persatuan. Yang kedua, berhubungan negara dan agama. Ketiga, sistem badan permusyawaratan. Kemudian keempat, sosialisasi negara. Dan yang kelima adalah hubungan antar bangsa yang bersifat Asia Timur Raya. Jadi kesimpulan saya bahwa 5 prinsip dasar negara Republik Indonesia yang dinamakan Dasar Negara Indonesia Merdeka, yaitu 1. Persatuan. 2. Kekeluargaan. 3. Mufakat atau demokrasi. Dan 4. Kesejahteraan rakyat. Serta yang kelima adalah ketuhanan yang Maha Esa.
Bung Yamin, negara yang akan kita dirikan nantinya terdiri dari banyak suku dan beberapa agama. Lalu apa semboyan perjuangan bangsa kita nantinya?
Saudara Soekarno, semboyan negara yang terdiri dari bermacam suku budaya yang tepat adalah Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, Tanhana Dharma Mahura. Dalam kitab Sutasoma, Buku Tatular menulis bahwa agama Buddha dan Siwa Hindu merupakan zat yang berbeda, tetapi nilai-nilai kebenaran Sina Buddha dan Siwa adalah tunggal.
Paduka yang mulia, saya minta Saudara Ki Bagus Hadi Kusumo dan saudara-saudara Islam lain, maafkan saya memakai perkataan kebangsaan ini. Saya pun orang Islam, tetapi saya meminta kepada saudara-saudara, janganlah saudara-saudara salah paham jikalau saya katakan bahwa dasar pertama buat Indonesia ialah dasar kebangsaan. Itu bukan berarti satu kebangsaan dalam arti yang sempit, tetapi saya menghendaki satu nasional stat, seperti yang saya katakan dalam rapat di Taman Raden Saleh beberapa hari yang lalu. Satu nasional stat Indonesia bukan berarti stat yang sempit. Sebagai saudara Ki Bagus Hadikusumo katakan kemarin, maka Tuhan adalah orang bangsa Indonesia. Datuk-datuk, tuan-tuan, nenek moyang Tuhan pun bangsa Indonesia. Di atas satu kebangsaan Indonesia, dalam arti yang dimaksud oleh saudara Ki Bagus Hadikusumo, itulah kita dasarkan negara Indonesia. Kesimpulan saya, rumusan yang saya ajukan memiliki 5 sila sebagai dasar negara Republik Indonesia, yaitu 1. Kebangsaan Indonesia. 2. Internasionalisme dan perikemanusiaan. 3. Mufakat atau demokrasi. 4. Kesejahteraan sosial. 5. Ketuhanan yang Maha Esa. Saudara-saudara, dasar-dasar negara telah saya usulkan 5 bilangannya. Inikah Pancadharma? Bukan. Nama Pancadharma tidak tepat di sini. Dharma berarti kewajiban, sedangkan kita membicarakan dasar. Namanya bukan Pancadharma, tetapi saya namakan ini dengan petunjuk seorang teman kita ahli bahasa. Namanya ialah Pancasila.
In the meeting, there was an intense discussion between the Islamic party, which demanded Islam to become the sources of the foundation of the state of Indonesia, and the secular and non-Muslim parties, which opposed to religion Islam having roles in governing the state. The secular and non-Muslim proposed the principle of nationality to become the foundation of the state of Indonesia. Soekarno formulated his views by proposing 5 pillars as the foundation of the state of Indonesia called Pancasila.
Saudara-saudara sekalian, sampai berakhirnya sidang pertama ini, ternyata belum diperoleh kesepakatan. Maka saya membentuk panitia khusus yang terdiri dari 9 orang yang bernama Panitia 9, dan saya menunjuk saudara Soekarno menjadi ketua panitia. Dan dengan ini sidang BPUPKI saya nyatakan ditutup.
When the first meeting of BPUPKI had ended, the consensus of the formulation of state foundation had not been achieved. The chairman of BPUPKI, Dr. Kanjeng Raden Tumenggung Rajiman Widyodiningrat, formed a small committee consisting of 9 members to work on the constitution of the state of Indonesia, and appointed Soekarno as the head of the committee.
Saudara-saudara sekalian, setelah kita rumuskan dan sepakati hasil sidang dari panitia 9 ini, maka rumusan yang merupakan konsensus politik ini saya namakan Piagam Jakarta atau Jakarta Charter. Rumusan dasar negara yang tertuang dalam Piagam Jakarta ini adalah 1. Ketuhanan dengan kewajiban menjalankan syariat Islam bagi pemeluk-pemeluknya. 2. kemanusiaan yang adil dan beradab. 3. Persatuan Indonesia. 4. Kerakyatan yang dipimpin oleh hikmat kebijaksanaan dalam permusyawaratan perwakilan. 5. Keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia. Maka dengan ini rapat panitia 9 saya nyatakan ditutup.
The Committee of Nine had achieved to formulate a political consensus that reflected and embodied the aspiration of all groups named Piagam Jakarta in June 22, 1945. Piagam Jakarta, which was successfully formulated by the Committee of Nine, was also called the Jakarta Charter or the Treaty of Sublime. It was also called the Gentleman Agreement. In the meantime, in the Second World War, Japan had been put in an unfavorable position. So, the Japanese command in the South region was urged to have a meeting in late July 1945 in Singapore. General Terauchi agreed to form a preparatory committee for Indonesian independence, PPKI or Dokuritsu Junbi Inkai, that was responsible for continuing the work of PPUPKI, which had already been dissolved, and preparing for everything needed because there would be a transfer of power from Japan to the Indonesian nation. According to its name, PPKI was responsible for preparing Indonesian independence. By the Allies, the Indonesian youths persuaded Soekarno and Muhammad Hatta to immediately proclaim the independence of Indonesia. Because of the tension between Soekarno-Hatta and the youths, Soekarno and Hatta were kidnapped, and 2 of them were brought to Rengas Dengklok, Karawang.
Proklamasi kemerdekaan Indonesia tidak bisa dilakukan di Rengas Dengklok. Proklamasi kemerdekaan Indonesia harus dilaksanakan di Jakarta, karena Jakarta adalah ibu kota perjuangan.
The youths who were in Jakarta then fetched Soekarno and Hatta to be brought back to Jakarta. Because of the tension between the youths and them, Soekarno and Hatta immediately took a stance and took advantage of the situation that the independence should immediately be proclaimed.
Semuanya hadir di Pegangsaan Timur 56 pukul 10 pagi.
On August 17, 1945, at 10 o'clock on East Pegangsaan Timur Street number 56 Jakarta, the text of the Proclamation of the Independence of Indonesia that was typed by Sayyidi Malik was read by Soekarno before the people of Indonesia.
Saudara-saudara, dengan ini kami nyatakan kebulatan tekad kami. Dengarkanlah proklamasi kami.
Proklamasi kami, bangsa Indonesia, dengan ini menyatakan kemerdekaan Indonesia. Hal-hal yang mengenai pemindahan kekuasaan dan lain-lain diselenggarakan dengan cara saksama dan dalam tempo yang sesingkat-singkatnya. Jakarta, 17 Agustus 1945, atas nama bangsa Indonesia, Soekarno, Hatta.
Demikianlah saudara-saudara, kita sekarang telah merdeka. Tidak ada satu ikatan lagi yang mengikat tanah air kita dengan bangsa lain. Mulai saat ini kita menyusun negara kita, negara merdeka, negara Republik Indonesia, merdeka, kekal dan abadi. Insya Allah Tuhan memberkati kemerdekaan kita itu.
After the proclamation of the independence of Indonesia declared on August 17, Muhammad Hatta was visited by a Japanese Navy officer. The officer passed on the message from the Protestant and Catholic leaders of East Indonesia, conveying that they objected to the phrase of "with the obligation to abide by Islamic law for adherents of Islam," included in the text of Jakarta Charter, which had been plotted for the opening of the constitution of this newborn independent republic. According to them, to include this 7-word phrase was a discrimination. On August 18, 1945, PPKI held a meeting. Having received the message from the Protestant and Catholic leaders of East Indonesia, Muhammad Hatta asked the Islamic prominent figures who were the member of Preparatory Committee of Indonesian Independence, PPKI, to discuss the concerning matter. In the previous meetings of PPKI, the representatives of Muslim leaders proposed these 7 words. The Islamic prominent leaders invited by Muhammad Hatta to discuss about this were Ki Bagus Adikusumo, Kasman Sinodimejo, Teguh Muhammad Hasan, and Wahid Hasmi.
Saudara-saudara, sebelum sidang PPK dibuka, saya mendapat pesan dari beberapa pemimpin Protestan dan Katolik Indonesia Timur yang berkeberatan dengan pencantuman frasa dengan kewajiban menjalankan syariat Islam bagi pemeluk-pemeluknya di naskah Piagam Jakarta yang diplot sebagai pembukaan Konstitusi Republik yang baru lahir ini. Undang-undang tidak boleh didiskriminasi. Karena itu, pencantuman frasa dengan kewajiban menjalankan syariat Islam bagi pemeluk-pemeluknya itu akan membuat masyarakat non-muslim tidak masuk dalam bagian undang-undang ini. Pesan para pemimpin tersebut benar-benar mementingkan nasib dan persatuan bangsa dan dapat menginsafkan bahwa semangat Piagam Jakarta tidak akan lenyap dengan menghilangkan perkataan ketuhanan dengan kewajiban menjalankan syariat Islam bagi pemeluk-pemeluknya dan menggantinya dengan ketuhanan yang Maha Esa. Apakah saudara-saudara setuju?
Eventually, in only 15 minutes, a consensus had been made to erase the phrase. These leaders had put serious efforts to put forward the faith and the unity of the nation. They did understand that the soul, the spirit of the Jakarta Charter would not disappear by deleting the words of with the obligation to abide by Islamic law for adherents of Islam and replacing them with the one and only God.
Undang-Undang Dasar Negara Republik Indonesia tahun 1945 pembukaan bahwa sesungguhnya kemerdekaan itu ialah hak segala bangsa, dan oleh sebab itu maka penjajahan di atas dunia harus dihapuskan karena tidak sesuai dengan peri kemanusiaan dan peri keadilan. Dan perjuangan pergerakan kemerdekaan Indonesia telah sampailah kepada saat yang berbahagia dengan selamat sentosa mengantarkan rakyat Indonesia ke depan pintu gerbang kemerdekaan negara Indonesia yang merdeka, bersatu, berdaulat, adil dan makmur atas berkat rahmat Allah yang Maha Kuasa dan dengan didorongkan oleh keinginan luhur supaya berkehidupan kebangsaan yang bebas, maka rakyat Indonesia menyatakan dengan ini kemerdekaannya. Kemudian daripada itu, untuk membentuk suatu pemerintah negara Indonesia yang melindungi segenap bangsa Indonesia dan seluruh tumpah darah Indonesia, dan untuk memajukan kesejahteraan umum, mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa, dan ikut melaksanakan ketertiban dunia yang berdasarkan kemerdekaan, perdamaian abadi, dan keadilan sosial, maka disusunlah kemerdekaan kebangsaan Indonesia itu dalam suatu undang-undang dasar negara Indonesia yang terbentuk dalam suatu susunan negara Republik Indonesia yang berkedaulatan rakyat dengan berdasar kepada ketuhanan yang Maha Esa, kemanusiaan yang adil dan beradab, persatuan Indonesia, dan kerakyatan yang dipimpin oleh hikmat kebijaksanaan dalam permusyawaratan perwakilan, serta dengan mewujudkan suatu keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia.
The defeat of Japan against the Allies has suggested an analogy that this unconditional surrender on August 14, 1945 gave the Allies the rights to reoccupy the regions which were under Japanese control, especially the regions that had formerly been occupied by the Allies. Netherlands was one of the countries that belonged to the Allies. Indonesian nation, after proclaiming the independence of Indonesia, had experienced the gains and losses by the aggression of the Dutch that made use of its position in the Allies. The military aggression of the Dutch had made Indonesian people furious and had triggered people's opposition in several regions of Indonesia. The resistance of the people of Indonesia against the Dutch had attracted the attention of people worldwide. They condemned the aggression.
Merdeka! Sekali merdeka, tetap merdeka!
The resistance movement of the Indonesian people was observed internationally, so that on August 23, 1925, a negotiation meeting was held in Den Haag, Netherlands. The negotiation meeting was called the Round Table Conference, a discussion between the government of the Republic of Indonesia and the Dutch government, held from August 23, 1949 to November 2, 1949, reaching an agreement as follows. The Netherlands recognized the sovereignty of the United States of Indonesia. The status of West New Guinea was to be settled in discussions to take place the following year. The Dutch government recognized the independence of Indonesia on December 27, 1949, 4 years after the proclamation of Indonesian independence on August 17, 1925. This recognition was made official when the sovereignty draft, or the transfer of sovereignty to the United States of Indonesia, was signed in Dam Palace, Amsterdam, in Netherlands. Soekarno also contributed constructive ideas to the international world, because he was concerned about the fate of Asian African nations that had not gained freedom and opportunity to decide their own future. In 1953, as the representative of Indonesia, the Prime Minister Ali Sastro invited other countries to hold meetings in order to promote Indonesian diplomacy.
Ali, saya lantik Anda sebagai Perdana Menteri Indonesia yang ke-8.
Saya akan laksanakan, Tuan Presiden. Saudara-saudara sidang parlemen yang saya hormati, ketegangan yang diakibatkan oleh perang dingin tidak bisa diredakan apabila Indonesia hanya menjalankan diplomasinya sendiri, tanpa melibatkan negara-negara yang kedudukan dan keadaannya sama. Oleh karena itu, kerjasama politik dengan negara-negara Asia Afrika akan memperkuat usaha tercapainya perdamaian dunia.
Ingat Ali, ini adalah cita-cita bersama yang hampir 30 tahun yang lalu kita dalam pergerakan nasional melawan penjajahan. Kita sudah mendengungkan solidaritas Asia Afrika.
In exercising its diplomacy, Indonesia participated in the Colombo Conference, represented by the Prime Minister Ali Sastro on April 30, 1954. Soekarno, the first president of Indonesia, described himself as the leader of those countries which he has called as NEFOs, newly emerging forces. Indonesia proposed for a bigger conference for countries in Asia and Africa.
Saudara-saudara, di manakah kita? Bangsa-bangsa Asia berdiri sekarang ini. Apakah kita akan diseret dalam persingkatan ini yang sebetulnya dilakukan untuk merebut kekuasaan? Kita sekarang sudah sungguh-sungguh berada di persimpangan jalan sejarah untuk manusia. Kami, Indonesia, mengusulkan untuk diadakan konferensi lain yang berskala lebih luas atas dasar pertimbangan bahwa masalah Asia tidak hanya dihadapi oleh bangsa-bangsa Asia, melainkan juga bangsa-bangsa Afrika. Apakah saudara-saudara setuju? Baiklah saudara-saudara, Indonesia akan menjadi tuan rumah dan menjadi penyelenggara konferensi Asia Afrika. Apakah saudara-saudara setuju?
Setuju.
In April 1955, Soekarno ideas were followed up by holding Asian African Conference, which was a reminder to Asian and African countries that they were still pursuing their independence. The conference was held from April 18th to April 24th, 1955 at Merdeka Building, Bandung. Indonesia, in order to promote the economic and cultural cooperation of Asia and Africa, and to fight against colonialism or neo-colonialism of United States of America, Soviet Union, or other imperialist countries. There were 29 countries representing more than the total number of citizens of the world at that time participated in the conference. Those countries also opposed to the idea of colonialism, especially the influence of France in North Africa and the power of French colonial in Algeria. And they were concerned about the intention of Indonesia to promote its right in a dispute with the Dutch concerning West Area.
The honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, let this Asian African Conference be a great success. Make the live and let live principle and the unity in diversity motto the unifying force which brings us all together to seek in friendly, uninhibited discussion ways and means by which each of us can live his own life and let others live their own lives in their own way, in harmony and in peace. Yes, there are different qualities between us. Who disputes it? Small and large countries send representatives here. Countries where people embrace almost all the religions under heaven. Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, Confucianism, Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism, Shintoism, and others. Almost all political understandings we meet here. Monarchy, democracy, theocracy with a variety of different forms. And practically all economic teachings have their representatives in this building. Marxism, socialism, capitalism, in all variations and combinations of various colors. If we succeed in doing so, the effect of it for the freedom, independence, and the welfare of man will be great on the world at large. The light of understanding has again been lit. The pillar of cooperation again erected. The likelihood of success of this conference is proved already by the very presence of you all here today. It is for us to give it strength, to give it the power of inspiration, to spread its message all over the world. the Asian African Conference that generated the new Asia in Africa. Let a new Asia in Africa be born had promoted 5 resolutions. 1. To promote collaboration among Asian African nations in economics, social, and culture. 2. To call for the independence of Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. 3. To reinstate West Irian to Indonesia. 4. To fight against discrimination and colonialism. 5. The 10 Principles of Bandung.
Soekarno delivered a fiery speech, reminding the mass of imperialism and colonialism upon countries of the world. The speech was titled, "Let a New Asian Africa Be Born!" Soekarno gave a speech in front of the representatives of 23 Asian countries and 6 African countries, including Sudan and Gold Coast, now Ghana, that had not gained their independence yet. In the conference, the representatives of Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco also participated as observer countries.
What
Soekarno was well known internationally. His conduct as the first president of the Republic of Indonesia and his excellent skill in political engagement internationally have become a new spirit of Asian African countries to strive for their independence. Both enemies and friends respected his perspectives. Accordingly, Soekarno has received compliments and rewards manifested in different ways. Soekarno's great name was enshrined in, among others, 1. Soekarno grew most in St. Petersburg. 2. Soekarno Street in Egypt. 3. Soekarno Street in Morocco. 4. Soekarno Street in Pakistan. 5. A stamp depicting Soekarno and Fidel Castro in Cuba. 6. A stamp with Soekarno picture launched in the Philippines.
Ladies and gentlemen, demikian Sosio drama kali Soekarno, persembahan Komite Seni Budaya Nusantara Indonesia. Pemeran tokoh Soekarno, Hendarji Supanji, Muhammad Hatta dan Amis Sastro Anjoyo, Muhammad Ridwan, Muhammad Jamil dan Perdana Menteri UNU Nur Cahyo Priharto, Kanjeng Ratu Gubernur Rajiman Widyodiningrat dan Perdana Menteri John Rodewalawa, Yosef Umar Hadi, Supomo, dan Perdana Menteri Jawaharlal Nehru Tri Broto Sulistyo, Ki Bagus Hadi Kusumo, dan Muhammad Ali Mugra Joko Dewo, Fatmawati, Tantri Dia Kirana Dewi, Ida Ayu Nyomanre, Lita Legowo, Penari Dia Cahyani Saraswati, Nur Laila Pandamita, Purwan Diatu, dan Ariati Indrati.
Duta Besar RI, ada penyerahan skenario teater drama dari Bapak kepada Ibu Duta Besar. نشكر جزيل الشكر لجنة الفنون والثقافة KSBN تحت قيادة السيد هندارجي سوبانجي بهذه المناسبة. تود لجنة KSBN أن تقدم سيناريو الدراما الاجتماعية سوكارنو الفارس بدون سيف، والذي كتبه وأخرجه نور تشاهيو بريحانتورو إلى سعادة سفيرة جمهورية إندونيسيا. نرجو منها أن تتقدم إلى المنصة.